Good evening, 10:19 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast in the United States of America. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and we really need to have a very serious update. I wanted to read a couple articles. One's for XLM and one's for XRP, and yeah, it's got the fancy headline to get people to read, but it's more than just that. It's got all the breakdowns of the actual numbers in here and the important numbers, the 20 and 50-day EMA that I want some of you that don't really have an understanding so that you can understand a little bit deeper into the numbers. So let's get through this so that we can get to the charts because there's a lot going on. I think Bitcoin's up to approximately 48,000, or is it 48,600? It's up like 3% since the flip. Look at the volume, especially on XRP in the 30-minute time frame. It's atrocious. It's atrocious. Look at that. You might as well not even have volume. So the fact it's going up, it's a fake out, guys. When you have volume that low, I mean, it's almost unbelievable how low it is in the 30-minute time frame. 105,000, 82,000. It just keeps going down every segment. Bearish as fuck. This is so bear. Don't get yourselves caught in a bad spot to add to your position. Or if you're buying for the first time, yes, it's under $1 and it's tempting, but let's get to these juicy prices, okay? So, XRP lost 15% of value in 1 week. What's next? And this is from today. The recent losses have been significant. XRP made an attempt to settle above $1.35 on November 10th, but then touched lows at 65 cents before rebounding towards the 20 EMA on the daily chart at 93 cents. As we know, it wicked down to 57, whatever, 8 or whatever it was. Currently, XRP remains under pressure together with other leading coins. XRP managed to settle below the 50 EMA and the 20 EMA on the 4-hour chart and move towards the low end of the current upside channel. RSI remains in the moderate territory, and there is plenty of room to develop additional downside momentum in case the right catalysts emerge. In case XRP continues to move lower, it will move towards the support level at 80.8050. This support level has already been tested several times and proved its strength, but we fell through that today, but it did hold now. A successful test of this level will open the way to test of support at 77 cents, which we almost got to 77, so we're probably working on that. If XRP manages to settle below 77, it will head towards the support at 75 cents, which we've been talking about. On the upside, XRP needs to get above the resistance at 85 cents to have a chance to develop upside momentum in the near term. The next resistance level is located at 87 cents. A move above this level will open the way to test the resistance at 90 cents. If XRP manages to settle above 90 cents, it will head towards the resistance, which is located recent highs at 93.50. Taking a closer look at the 1-hour chart, the same levels are visible as on the 4-hour chart. The key question right now is whether XRP will try to move out of the current upside channel. In this scenario, it will have a good chance to develop additional downside momentum. Traders should also monitor the dynamics of main cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin and Ethereum. If the current pullback continues, other top 10 coins like XRP will also find themselves under material pressure. So that's for XRP. And for XLM, we have, let's get to the right spot. So Stellar, XLM technical analysis. Trade setup. Following a bearish breakout from ascending triangle price bounce off of 25 support. 25 cent support. Trends are mixed. Needs to break above 200-day moving average. 33 cents to make a higher high and resume uptrend. Downtrend on short and medium term basis and uptrend on long term basis. And this is for XLM now. Momentum is bearish. MACD line and below. MACD signal line and RSI is below 45. The OBV or on balance volume is declining, indicating that volume on up days is lower than volume on down days. Hence, demand buyers is below supply sellers. Very bearish signal. Support and resistance. Nearest support zone is 25 cents, then 20. The nearest resistance zone is 30, then 40. So, and then I want to do an overview real quick since I don't talk about stellar lumens a lot in this capacity. And I did this with XRP earlier, so The overview: Stellar is an open source payments network that serves as a distributed intermediary blockchain for global financial systems and circulates its native asset, Stellar Lumens. The Stellar blockchain allows anyone to issue new assets in the network in exchange for other assets via built-in asset exchange features. Assets on Stellar are issued and redeemed by anchors, who are trusted entities that issue digital credits on the Stellar network in exchange for deposits of the asset with the trusted entity. Anchors enable real-world assets to be exchanged on Stellar by leveraging a distributed exchange that maintains an order book for every asset pair. Stellar supports the issuance of any type of asset, including stocks, currencies, crypto assets, and more. So, in the history, after leaving Ripple in 2013 due to internal conflicts over vision, Jed McCaleb, along with partner Joyce Kim, forked the Ripple protocol and launched the Stellar project in 2014. With the creation of the nonprofit Stellar Development Foundation, SDF, the team aimed to promote global financial access, literacy, and inclusion, and create an open and affordable financial system where people of all income levels can access simple to use, secure, and low-cost financial services. Something I can get behind and am. The Stellar Development Foundation was created in collaboration with Stripe CEO Patrick Collison. Stripe invested $3 million in seed funding and received $2 billion Stellar Lumens XLM in exchange. At launch, the network generated $100 billion XLM and featured a 1% annual issuance rate. In 2015, Stellar redesigned its consensus protocol following a ledger fork in 2014 that rolled back hours of transactions. Its new and current consensus protocol, called Stellar Consensus Protocol, was developed by Stanford professor David Maziras, chief scientist of SDF. And then in 2017, Jed McCaleb and Britt Young launched Lightyear as a for-profit entity of Stellar that would build a universal payment network on Stellar. In 2017, Stellar announced a grants program that would award partners up to $2 million worth of lumens for project developments. In October 2019, Stellar removed the 1% annual issuance rate from the Stellar protocol, stating that it was not benefiting the projects building on the Stellar. In November 2019, and Stellar Development founders announced it burned more than 55 billion XLM, 55% tokens, as it moves away from the airdrop programs. The foundation had retained 68 billion XLM earmarked for giveaways in order to grow the community. Citing a declining utility for airdrops, the SDF burned 50 billion of those tokens, along with 5 billion of the 17 billion previously held in its operating fund. The burn reduced the total supply to 50 billion XLM, of which SDF's ownership of the total drop from XLM supply was 85% to 60%. Then we get into the technology. The Stellar blockchain consensus mechanism is called Stellar Consensus Protocol, SCP, an implementation of the Federal Byzantine Agreement, FBA. The FBA is a fairly new consensus mechanism pioneered by Ripple. The SCP is the first provable safe FBA blockchain protocol, and FBA allows nodes to choose which peers to trust based on intrinsic or extrinsic factors set by the nodes. This dynamic creates network-wide quorums as individual nodes relay and verify network activity information's FBAs on quorum slices to reach consensus subsets of a quorum that can convince an individual node to agree with the slice. Stellar nodes can choose their own quorum slices, and it's like raining and sleeting here because it's a little too warm for snow, so you can hear it in the background. I figured I'd open the door. To attack the Stellar network, a reputable institution would need to control 51% or more of the network's trusted nodes. Stellar disincentivizes this by financial rewarding honest actors in the network via fees and other rewards. Stellar also has an element of reputation and social identity by keeping network actors as known entities, which incentivizes financial institutions to maintain the trust of their peers. Some of these trusted financial institutions are called anchors, a crucial part of the Stellar blockchain network. Anchors maintain wallets with fiat and XLM balances to allow currency exchange. Anchors control the fees they charge for network peers to use their services, and users can pick which anchor manages their exchanges. The Stellar blockchain also supports launching native assets similar to issuing tokens on Ethereum. Compared to Ethereum, Stellar aims to offer faster transactions and lower network fees. All assets on the Stellar blockchain are not traded, only by exchanging credits between accounts in the network that are managed by anchors. Supply curve details. As detailed in the launch section, the Stellar Development Foundation initially designed a distribution schedule that would help grow the number of XLM holders by airdropping the supply. Initially issued 100 billion XLM to specific groups. Nevertheless, those distribution mechanisms initially designed by the SDF proved hard to effectively execute. Out of the 20 billion XLM to be distributed to Bitcoin holders, 19 billion and XRP holders 1 billion, only 2.037 billion were distributed in 2 rounds in October 2016 and August 2017. The rest, 17.963 billion, was reallocated to the SDF operational budget in 2017. As such, the SDF increased its operational budget, initially set at 3 billion XLM, by 600% through this reallocation. Out of the 50 billion XLM to be distributed through the direct sign-up program, the SDF only managed to effectively distribute 4.2 billion XLM, less than 10% of what was originally planned. Out of the 25 billion XLM to be distributed through the partnership program, the SDF only managed to effectively distribute 1.138 billion XLM, less than 5% of what was originally planned. It is interesting to note that the address that received the 1.13 billion XLM sent them back to the SDF managed address in November 2019, right before the SDF burnt 55 billion XLM. As detailed below, globally, the SDF only managed to distribute 7.375 billion XLM through these 3 programs instead of the 95 billion initially scheduled. Built-in inflation mechanisms until October 2019, the Stellar Ledger also featured a built-in fixed nominal inflation mechanism. New lumens were added to the network at a rate of 1% each year. Each week, the protocol could distribute these lumens to any account that receives over 0.05% of the votes from other accounts in the network. Given the very high supply concentration within the SDF treasury addresses due to the inefficiency of the distribution mechanisms, the SDF would receive over 95% of the votes and thus 95% of the built-in inflation, increasing the operational budget by more than 4 billion XLM. Thanks to this built-in inflation mechanism, in October 2019, Stellar removed the 1% annual issuance rate from the Stellar protocol, stating that it was not benefiting the projects building on Stellar. 2017 inflation exploit from January to April 2017. Stellar suffered a serious inflation bug discovered in 2019 by Mazzari. The bug was exploited significantly inflationary impacts with leaked publicity in April 2017. The attacker was able to create over 2.2 billion lumens worth nearly 10 million at the time. Once it discovered and patched the bug, the SDF destroyed the equivalent number of coins that were created through the bug. Nevertheless, the XLM burn to offset the inflation bug came from the direct sing-up program allocation. As such, the SDF burnt supply that was meant to be distributed to the crowd to offset an inflation bug that was exploited by an attacker. If you're a fan of XLM and Stellar lumens, or if you want to know about Stellar lumens, this is absolutely fascinating, and you need to listen to this. If this update goes forever, it goes forever. Like I said before, I want you guys to see all the information and understand what you're actually buying. Conscious of the difficulty to distribute the important supply overhang, the SDF decided to burn more than 55 billion XLM in November 2019. 37.6 billion XLM were burned from the direct sign-up program allocation, reducing the supply left to be distributed to 4 billion XLM. As a result, instead of distributing 50 billion XLM through the direct sign-up program, the SDF will only distribute a maximum of 8.2 billion XLM, 4.2 billion distributed from 2015 to 2019, and 4 billion left to be distributed. 12.988 billion XLM were burned from the partnership program, reducing the supply left to be distributed to 8 billion XLM. As a result, instead of distribution 25 billion XLM through the partnership program, the SDF will only distribute a maximum of 8 billion XLM. 4.88 billion XLM were burned from the SDF operational budget. Nevertheless, this burn will only offset the newest issued XLM received through the built-in inflation during the first 5 years of the protocol. Through this burn, the SDF reduced the maximum supply from 105 billion XLM to 50 billion XLM. Consensus details. Stellar Consensus Protocol SCP is a modified version of Federated Byzantine Agreement, FBA. In an FBA, there are quorums and quorum slices. Quorum is a set of nodes sufficient to reach agreement. Given that an FBA system is open partnership, meaning that partnerships can join and leave as they please, it is impossible for the system to know how many nodes are sufficient for quorum without knowing the identities and amounts of nodes in the system. Thus, FBA introduced a concept of quorum slices nodes. A quorum nodes slice is a subset of a quorum that can convince one particular node about agreement. In an FBA system, nodes broadcast and individually determine which quorum slice slices of trust and build their own quorum based on information that have at hand in FBA systems. It is crucial that these quorums overlap to ensure the network reaches consensus. Ripple, for example, provides a list of trusted validators to use in order to ensure there is overlap when participating in the Ripple Consensus Protocol, RCP. Consensus in FBA systems is reached through a multi-round process where validators share ledger candidates between each other, adding and subtracting transactions until their candidate proposals match what their validators in their quorum slice proposed. Sorry, my cat was meowing, so I had to go find where the hell she was meowing at. You could probably hear her. Once a supermajority is reached, each server independently computes a new ledger hash from the agreed-upon set of transactions and compares results. Once a supermajority of validators agreed upon the hash of the new ledger candidate, the ledger candidate is considered final. SCP differentiates itself from RCP in that validators can choose their own quorum slices rather than using a predefined one from Ripple. Furthermore, rather than relying on a supermajority of nodes for consensus, SCP introduces notions of validator quality, where validators are weighted based on trustworthiness and reliability, and validator grouping, where validators are grouped by organizations. SCP posts these additional allow for stronger quorums. So that was a long read, but for anybody who likes XLM, and for that matter XRP for what we showed before that, it's very important. So to sum this up in the next couple minutes, because that was a lot of reading, as you guys know. So Bitcoin up 1332, 2.83%. What does this mean? Well, we don't know. We got to see, can we get up to the 30-minute time frame at 49,308, and can we make a run of it? Right now, what we're seeing is a big fall off in volume as this was going up, which is very bearish. Then we've fallen off again in this 30-minute time frame. So we're going to see if this can pick up some volume or if this is the end right here, because this would be a 30-minute candle. We're now in the short term. We're in the 48,732 support resistance line. This is where you would start to possibly round the corner, or we need to get a burst of volume and get on top of here and then try to come on top of there like we talked about earlier. We got to get above the 30-minute time frame on the 200-day, which is at, it keeps moving down a little bit though, so we don't even need this. It's 49,100. So we're trading between 47,118 and 49,190 on the 30-minute time frame and the 200-day. We're going to keep lining that up because we need to keep following the 30-minute time frame. That's what that line is. So that's where we see our resistance. So we're right on our resistance. So we need to get some more volume than this if we're expecting to push up. If you look at XRP, we're looking at resistance at 84,850. But yet we need to move it down just a tiny bit more because the 200-day and the 30-minute time frame keeps moving down. So it's actually 84,564. We have support at 75,170, which is very critical because if we fall through that, then there's no support. I mean, last time we just fell right to 57. There's obviously little bits of space where we, had a little bit of pullback down the second time, so we could obviously have a problem here at 64.50. So now that we're getting closer to these areas, we need to make sure on both sides what's going to happen. So if we break to the upside, if we can break 84.564, we can get to 88.941 and then 98.136. If we break to the downside, we got 75.170. If we break that, we got 64.5 cents, followed by 57.924, and then 52 cents if it breaks through that. This is the channel I think we're trading in right now, so as we come down, I expect it to be volatile. If we come down, I expect it to be a volatile thing. I don't think it's just going to come down in a straight line. Since the other side was like taking the elevator down, I think this is going to take the stairs down, and I think that's what we're seeing right now. Opposites attract after all. Make sure to hit that like button, turn that bell notification on, and subscribe to the channel if you're new or returning. Consider joining Tom's Army. We have 179 subscribers, and I would love you to subscribe to the channel and be in the exclusive Telegram. There's 103 of us in there, I believe. So make sure you're doing that for $9.99 a month. Support the channel and get in there. XLM, and then I gotta let you go. I gotta go help Julie with something. Support 24,807. We got resistance at 27.25. And you see how the 200-day keeps moving on us on the 30-minute time frame? Look how far that's pulled down now. So that's the 30-minute time frame. So basically, in my opinion, this one's irrelevant now. So now we're tightening the zones. We're changing the zones up here. So this, we're going to come up here because we're going to get rid of one of the zones. So we have 28.2 resistance, 25.7 support, and this is how you actually get within this. That's when I let the cat in the room. So 25.7 support, 28.2 resistance. If we break 28.2, we can go to 30-cent resistance. If we break 25.7, we've got 23.8, and then we actually have the double bottom where I made it. So could we get sucked into this vortex? Possibly. So we're going to see what happens. I could see something like that happening. So let's see if something actually does happen where we get, but we'd have to get rejected here first probably to come down, and then we could make that V. So that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm feeling. Make sure to hit that like button. Turn that bell notification on. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to return. And I believe there's simply no reason not to. We're almost to our 5,000 subscriber goal. We're at 179 members of Tom's Army, which leaves us only 21 members shy of our 200 member goal.